Hi everyone, it is Nat, and today I'm going to be talking about books that have made me cry. I actually normally don't cry in books or movies or really any fiction. It takes kind of a lot to get to me. But yeah, to my memory, there's only three. To my memory, there's only three books that have ever made me cry. And only one was a bawling, sobbing, blubbering crying. The other two were just kind of one of those single tears. But yeah, so only three, not that many. And these aren't really in any particular order, but the first one I'm going to share with you guys is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. And I'm pretty sure this book has made everybody cry. Pretty much the whole story, really, I was misty-eyed, but I didn't actually shed any tears until the fake funeral scene. And when they were giving their eulogies, I was just I could not. The funny part was I actually read this book in school, back in high school. A lot of my teachers actually let me read throughout the whole class. So 2 or 3 of my classes a day I would just be reading. And so I read this book in school, and so all of a sudden I'm just reading, and then all of a sudden I'm crying and have a few tears, and just it was so embarrassing just sitting in class and reading and crying. But by this point, I was actually pretty late to the Fault in Our Stars game, so by this point most people had read it, and they knew what was up. So I don't think anybody judged me too harshly, but I just remember I was just sitting there crying. I was what is happening? But yeah, it was only a few tears. It wasn't that bad. It was just oh my gosh, all these people probably think I'm a freak if they haven't read The Fault in Our Stars. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty understandable, but just oh gosh. So the next book is the one that I actually hardcore bawled ugly tears, snot going everywhere cried on this one, and that is Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Meyer. And the part that I actually cried at is kind of weird, and it's not a sad part. I'll give you guys a little background about why I bawled at this. But pretty much, I was the biggest Twilight fan ever. Literally, Twilight was my life. It was my... Okay, it wasn't my first obsession, but I would say it was my first fangirl obsession. This was really the first time I ever fangirled for everything. Everything was Twilight. That's all I thought about. Literally, Twilight was life. Twilight gave me breath. So I actually went to a Breaking Dawn release party sleepover at my library, and so we got the book at midnight, and everybody stayed up all night reading, and I think that was actually my first all-nighter ever, I think. But anyway, so I was really sleep deprived by the time I got to this part. But the part that made me cry, it was when, so she Bella thinks that her kid is a boy, right? And she's naming him EJ, and when she was just calling him EJ, I did not connect that it was Edward Jacob at all. Just that went over my head. And so there's one part where she actually says oh, Edward Jacob, and that's when it clicked for me that EJ was Edward Jacob. And mind you, I was little, I'm middle schooler, and I was really sleep deprived, my first all-nighter, and I loved Twilight. And so when Bella said that it was Edward Jacob, I just got all the feels, and I was just I think that's where it hit me that this series was over, and I was just I couldn't handle it. I just started crying, and it's such a stupid part to cry at, because I'm sure most people already realized that EJ was Edward Jacob, but it just got to me, and I just started bawling on my living room floor. Yeah, so it was I don't think it was the actual book that made me cry. It was just kind of the emotions at the end of this, and just Edward Jacob, just oh, the feels. But yeah, so that was the most a book has ever made me cry, and it was a full-on cry. And the next book that made me cry was Looking for Alaska, also by John Green. And this was another just I think this one was actually a singular tear. It wasn't even a few, it was just the one. I was actually pretty misty-eyed for not a lot, but definitely several parts of the book. But the actual part that made the tear come, and spoilers, maybe just plug your ears or fast forward or something. But the main part that actually made me cry was after Alaska died, and it was after her funeral, and Pudge was just kind of talking about death. And I don't know, that just got to me. He was just talking about how sad he was that she died, and thinking about it's not so much death that makes me sad a lot of times, it's the people who have to live on after death that. I don't know, that always breaks my heart. So it's just the way he was talking about it, just it got to me and I was like, oh, a tear. But funny also, I was actually at a public pool when I read this part. So I'm just like sunbathing, tanning, like chilling by this pool in my swimsuit. And all of a sudden I'm like crying. But yeah, I don't think anybody saw it, so it's fine. But I just think it's funny, like both John Green books, I've been crying in public. Okay, and as I'm filming this video, I'm kind of thinking that I maybe cried during Allegiant, but I can't remember, so I'm gonna include it anyways, but I'm not 100% positive. I know I was definitely like blinking back the tears, but I'm not sure if they actually came or not. So, but I mean, close enough. Spoilers massively if you have not read Allegiant, but I actually kind of like put it, I forget the exact part, but I kind of put it together pretty early that Tris was gonna die. And I remember I still had so much book left and I was like, holy crap, she's gonna die. And then I read some more and then it just like kept getting more and more that I was like, oh my gosh, I know this is gonna happen. And so then I like flipped forward through the book to like see what would happen. And so I like flipped forward and I found like the part where I don't know if it was like the part where it happened, but it was some part where like it confirmed that she had died and I was like, oh my gosh, no. So yeah, I can't remember if I actually cried or not, but like it was pretty close even if I didn't. So yeah, I thought I'd just throw this one in also. Right, but that is all the books that have ever made me cry. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and comment down below what books have made you cry, because obviously I don't cry a lot, so I'm curious like what books get to other people. I think that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed and thank you for watching. Bye!